Oh, it's Ibetonme. If you've been out here grinding the Age of Triumph distortion public events, just vendoring anything that drops, oh yeah, you're trolling yourself. Cause the Decatur O2 auto rifle just quietly dropped into the game, and I haven't seen a single person talk about what this thing actually does. So I'm cutting the cap right now because you need this weapon in your vault before the week is over. Let's talk about it. The Decatur O2 is a 600 rounds per minute stasis auto rifle. Now mine dropped at power 500. And before you say anything, yes, the impact is only 21. That's a 600 rounds per minute. That's how that archetype works. What you're not getting here is my roll has range of 76, reload of 76, handling at 68, and this thing is smooth. But wait till I go over the basic trait and the intrinsic trait. You're gonna see this weapon is one of a kind. I'll touch on that in a second. Now here's how you get this weapon. I got mine from a random drop from the new seasonal public event in the Age of Triumph. So it was no specific farm, no exotic quest. You just run the event and at the end it drops. So get out there and grind it. Alright, so the intrinsic on this weapon is called a support frame with overload. And let me be very clear, this is not your regular perk. That changes how you play the weapon entirely. Here's what it does. Harming targets build a restorative charge. Now once that charge is built up, you hip fire at allies and it heals them. That's the base function, but it doesn't stop there. Because as you get rapid healing going, it also heals allies faster. You get increased weapon damage for yourself, and your allies get frost armor. I said that. Frost armor. And if you don't know, frost armor is key to the stasis subclass because it grants stacking damage resistance against all incoming damage. However, you are getting this from an auto rifle, not a subclass, from a support perk. This thing is doing things that other weapons in the game are not doing right now. And then there's the origin trait, carry-on munitions. For final blows on tougher combatants, we're talking about yellow bars and up. They spawn insectoid robots that chase enemies and detonate. Man, that's war crimes. And I'm being genuine because you're putting down a yellow bar and spawning a mini kill squad behind you while you're already on to the next target. Alright, so now let's get into the perk columns because this is where the conversation get actually interesting. So let's start with slot number 3. Alright, so let's start from the top. First you have Physic, next you have Demolitionist, followed by Attrition Orbs, next Crystalline Corpse Bloom, followed by Enlightened Action, then you're going to have Lead from Light, and then lastly you're going to have Vorpal Weapon. Alright, so now let's break down all the perks in slot number 4. Starting at the top you have Redirection, followed by Circle of Life. Next you have Reciprocity, followed by Rim Stiller. Then next Master of Arms. Next you have Meganura, followed by Rampage. So now let's talk about the God roll that I got because honestly it's going to be the best for both PvE and PvP that you could get on this weapon. On my third slot I have Crystalline Corpse Bloom, which is great for PvE. Now rapid final blows spawn a large stasis crystal near victim's location. It's crazy because you're freezing targets, you're exploding targets. Man, this perk is absurd. Man, if you built this into a stasis or a prismatic build, man, this thing would be crazy. Now I'm not going to go deep into some full synergized build at this time, but I will be making a video showcasing it. And in line number 3 I have Enlightened Action, which dealing damage significantly improves reload speed and handling. This is going to be the best perk on this weapon for PvP. That's not an S tier, it's more like an A tier perk, but that's really the best perk that you have on this weapon for that slot. And in line number 4 I have Master of Arms, which final blows with this weapon improves this weapon damage for an improved duration, and Rampage, where final blows with this weapon grant increased damage for improved duration, and it stacks up ×3. Starting with Rampage, if I'm in lighter PvE content like strikes or lower tier difficulties, patrol, seasonal activities, Rampage is the move. You're moving down to a lower tier ad, so the weapon damage stack build fast, you keep your momentum, and this thing just melts adways. Rampage is for good air clearing, period. Now for Master of Arms, I'm going to use that on serious stuff like Nightfalls and raids. Anything where getting multiple kills in a row is actual difficult, okay? So you're going to be spending more time on a single target with that perk. Master of Arms procs off multiple kills, which means you got to work for it. But when it's on a beefy target, the damage output is straight up disgusting. For harder content, yeah, running Master of Arms, that's the answer. Now the only downside is you're going to have to decide which role you want to run per activity, because ideally you have both. Have the Rampage copy for your ad clear activities, Master of Arms copy for your in-game runs. In line number 4 for PvP, Master of Arms is definitely going to be the play, cause scoring a kill with the weapon is going to grant you Master of Arms ×1, which is going to give you 15% increased damage for 7 seconds. Scoring another kill is going to perk Master of Arms Part 2, granting you 25% increased damage for 4 seconds. Alright, so here's the final role breakdown. For PvE, especially in-game hard game content, you want Crystalline Corpse Bloom in slot 3 and Master of Arms in slot 4. That's the god role. For lighted content, swap slot 4 to Rampage and you're running an ad clearing machine with a healer built in. And for PvP, Enlightened Action slot 3, Master of Arms slot 4. Or Corpse Bloom if you just like trolling people and want to see some chaos. Now the carry-on munition origin trait is a bonus you're going to forget about until you see 6 bots chasing a knight off a ledge and explode. And when it happens, and it will happen, you're welcome. Now for PvE, this is not just a fun gun you want to use for 1 week and forget about. The support frame Intrinsic alone keeps this thing relevant every time you step into a fire team setting. This is a workhorse. And if this video entertained you or helped you, a like would definitely be appreciated. And if you're new to the channel, hey, go ahead and sub. It matters more than you think. And I'm out. And if you do want to see more Destiny 2 God Roll Guide videos, I would suggest you watch this playlist next. Also, don't forget to like and sub. You guys have a great day. Peace.